Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So you already registered, right? So package student, Mahadasa.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, fine. Um, Today I'll share my drive access with you. Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Paint file. Yesterday we discussed what all topics we have in web UI programming, and each topic basic introduction we completed yesterday. Here in web UI programming, I'm going to continue. That list of all topics are here. Starting 10 days, I'll continue on HTML4. Then after that, I'll continue on CSS3 for the next 10 days. Here, JavaScript, I'll continue for the 20 hours, 22 hours of sessions. I'll continue on JavaScript. Then fourth one, I'll continue on HTML5. Then fifth, the CSS3. Here it is HTML5, CSS3, just it is an overview on the top of HTML4. 1 or 2 days on HTML5, 1 or 2 days on CSS3. Next, jQuery will continue 2 to 3 days on jQuery here, jQuery topic. Then Ajax, 2 to 3 days on Ajax topic. Here, eighth one, responsive design. Here, 1 day will continue on responsive design. Just we'll add 2 lines of extra code on responsive design. Here, after that, bootstrap will continue 2 days. Here, lessons as will continue 2 days. Finally, project session. So every Saturday sessions I'll go for project. And here, Saturdays I'll go for project as well as last final project also I'll continue. 2 to 3 days will continue on the project, and I'll show you how to deploy our project into the real-time hosting server. Next, 12th one here, exam. So this is also every Saturday session. I'll continue on here Saturday sessions. I'll continue on exam. So in this exam also I'll continue each topic introduction part. Here total duration of course will be here next 2 months. Next 2 months I'm going to continue on all these topics. Here this is my syllabus. Monday to Friday topic session. Saturdays it may be exam, it may be project session. Like that I'll continue. And next week onwards, I'll continue your class at 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. So I'm changing your class time. So that will be here 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Here 9th October at 6 a.m. Yeah. So here in this UI programming, what is UI? What is the use of each topic we discussed? UI means once you enter any URL in the browser, whatever application you can see, that is what UI. Here you can enter here google.com. So you can see here one search option. So once you click on this search option, your data will be redirected to server connected to database. So 3-tier architecture we will follow to develop our application. Here we always follow 3-tier architecture. Here front end connected to server connected to database. This 3-tier architecture, what you are developing here, this is what here front end connected to server connected to database. Here database will give you resultant page for us. That is our resultant page here. So you will get all the list of links here. Link 1, link 2, link 3, whatever you will search that related links, you will get it here. Here, this is our server programming. Here, this is our database programming. Here in this server programming, you can see here PHP, Java, .NET, Python, all etc. comes under server programs. Here databases are here, MySQL, SQL Server, here SQL Server, MongoDB, here MongoDB, etc. all comes under databases. Here etc. all comes under databases. So here, this is a UI page, starting page is a UI page, and the resultant page is also a UI page. And we observed Facebook is one UI page, it is connecting with the server, that is, it will connect with one server programming. That server programming is our PHP programming. So different programming will connect it in different websites. After that, I explain here first topic. Any website, if you check it here, starting code of any website will be, standard code of the website will be doc type HTML. Here itself, you can find it here, head and body tag. Here, head and body tag is the standard code of HTML. Under this head section, we can write it here. Script tag, we use it here for writing JavaScript code. Here, style tag, we use it here for writing CSS code. Here, style tag, we use it here for writing CSS code. Here, style tag as well as script tag, we use it here like this. Next, after this, body tag. Here, body tag is used to write. Here, we will use it here, body tag. This body tag, we used to write that code will be here, all HTML tags. All HTML 4 level and 5 level tags, we will learn it here. So HTML is creating basic skeleton part of the web page. Here HTML is a hypertext markup language. Here it mainly creates a skeleton of the web page. Skeleton part of web page, we can create it. We can create it using HTML. Using
string structure, I think.
string structure. Oh,
Yeah.
till now, why you don't inform? So explain.
Actually, you explained thoroughly, you explained, I think, but I thought your same screen I'm getting.
Oh, I didn't share paint window. I shared only the Chrome window.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now only I shared. This much I wrote it. Here, these all topics, and this is the UI introduction. This is HTML. Next, here CSS gives you alignment of the web page. Here CSS, here it is cascading style sheet. Style sheet. This mainly creates style part of web page. We can create it with this. Style part here, background colors, border, text related, styles, font related, styles all comes under CSS. Third topic, JavaScript. It will add functionality. Functionality of web page. Functionality of web page, we can create it using JavaScript. Using JavaScript only, we can add functionality to our application. JavaScript, we use it here to add the functionality to our application. Here, functionalities are here. The functionality of a web page, we can create it with this JavaScript. Here only you can find it here. Functionality means here validations, cookies, local storage, session storage, all we will learn it under JavaScript. After that, I explain jQuery. Here, jQuery is a external library of JavaScript. External library of JavaScript, we call it as jQuery. Here itself, you can find it here. It is a external library of JavaScript. We call it as jQuery. Here, external library, here it is existing one only, but it is external. Here, external library of JavaScript, we call it as jQuery, predefined library. So you will download and you will use it here. That I explain here, jQuery cycle.js, jQuery UI.js, jQuery validation.js. Like this, we find it yesterday. So many jQuery files. Because of that, you can directly implement your application. Here, this is about the CSS and here JavaScript as well as jQuery. After this, here Ajax. Here Ajax is a asynchronous JavaScript and XML. Here asynchronous JavaScript and XML. Asynchronous means here if client is sending the request to server, server has to give the response. In this client server architecture, whenever client is sending the request to server, so here you will get it here without refreshing or without here without redirection Without refreshment, without redirection, if you get the output for our application, that only we call it as Ajax. Here, without refreshment, without redirection, if you get output for our application, that is what Ajax. Chatting application is the best example for this Ajax. After that, I explain here Bootstrap. Here, Bootstrap is a framework. It's a framework. Framework means it is a ready-made architecture. Framework of HTML, CSS, JavaScript. It is a HTML, CSS, JavaScript framework. We call it as Bootstrap. Under this Bootstrap, you will understand here how to develop our application. So when you add bootstrap min.css file, bootstrap min.js file, here min.js file, and popper.js file, here, then here popper.js file, bootstrap min.css, js, and here bootstrap bundle.js, bootstrap bundle.js. Like this, you will use it here, all, etc. Here we have only 4 files. Because of this, you can directly develop your application. We no need to write every line of code. That predefined library will use it. With that, you can easily develop your application with this Bootstrap. Okay. Because of this Bootstrap, you can easily develop your application. That you will learn it under this. Here under this Ajax, you will learn that. So next one, here after this Bootstrap, here Ajax, Bootstrap, then lessons as. Here lessons as just it is a superset of CSS. Superset of CSS. CSS only, but it is a superset. External library of Java, sorry, it's a superset. Superset means existing predefined library only, but something extra, we can add it with this. So you will add, here when you write 1.less file, under this you can write variables. In CSS, how to write variables, how to write functions, how to write mexins. Here mexins, how to add functions, here mexins, nesting, etc., etc. You will learn it under this less file. Similar way in SAS also importing. Here if you write 1.less, this automatically converts into 1.css. So by adding one extension here, that is easy less. So what is this extension? How to add it? These all I'll explain once we enter in that topic. Same way for SAS. So 1.css file if you create, in CSS only how to write variables. Here variables, mexins, here mexins and functions, here nesting, here importing, other functions, etc. Extends, all you will learn it under this. So when you write 1.css file, this automatically converts into 1.css. So by adding one extension here, that extension will be here, SAS to CSS. SAS to CSS is one extension. Because of that, we can add our content like this. So this is totally about the SAS. Here, SAS programming, we can implement it like this. Here, this is totally about the less and SAS. Here, last one, responsive design. Responsive design time, you will understand how to develop our application. Here, responsive design. In this time, you will understand here how to develop our application for mobile phone, tablet, desktop. In all different resolution, how to show our output, that you will understand under responsive design. This is what I have covered in the last 2 sessions of our demonstration. In last 2 sessions of demonstration, I have covered this much. Here, how to add a less file, how to add SAS file, and how to implement our program with all these we discussed. Next, I'm going for here, how to write that less file and SAS file and how to develop our application we discussed under this. Here, next I'm going for here, first topic of our content. Today, we are starting the first topic of our course, that is HTML4. Here, HTML4 is our first topic. In that, how to develop our application. Here, you will understand under this. Here, HTML4. HTML4 is our first topic. So now here you can understand here when I develop HTML4, here HTML. So first, before writing this HTML4 topic, so first we have to use, for Java development, we will use Eclipse. For .NET development, that Microsoft IDE will use. For this web UI development, we will use IDE here. So we have so many IDEs: Visual Studio Code, Autumn, Brackets, NetBeans, here NetBeans, Eclipse, here Eclipse, etc., etc. So many things comes under this IDE. So IDE is mainly used to write integrated development environment. This is what here to develop our application. So we will use this IDE here. So I'm going to explain that VS Code. Here I'm explaining here IDE, that is VS Code. VS Code is one IDE. Under this, here most widely used one for developing our application, that is VS Code. Here, Google search for VS Code, you will redirect to that VS Code exe file. So here, check it. Here, VS Code, just enter. You will redirect to get put here code.visualstudio.com. Here, you can find download option to download that Visual Studio Code. Here, after this, click on this download option. So by this, VS Code will be downloaded in our system. See here. Here it is, VS Code is downloaded in our system. So just if you open it, by that you can see that here, VS Code. Here you can see that VS Code setup file. This is one setup file of VS Code. By that we can automatically develop our application with this. Here now I'm going for that VS Code. Under this VS Code, just to download and double click on it. So if you double click on it, here it will ask you some next steps. Here after couple of next steps, it will be installed in our system. So where you want to install, and here C drive or D drive, like that it will ask. See here, if you double click on it, agree terms and conditions, C drive or D drive, like this, some conditions it will ask. After clicking on next button, it will be installed in our system. See here, agree terms and condition, click on next button. Next button, here just install. So by that it will be installed in our system. So once it is installed, then go to the computer start button. Here after installation of this, I'm going for the computer start button. There you can find here VS Code, search for VS Code, it will be opened. See here, computer start button, search for VS Code, just enter. So by that, Visual Studio Code will be opened in our system. Okay, Visual Studio Code will be opened in our system. So by this, you can see that here VS Code development. Here I'm going for VS Code here. In this VS Code, how to develop our application, you can check. Here, this is what here, index file. Here, this is, go to the file, open folder. Just go to the file and open folder. So by that, I can create my one folder for my programming. So I'm creating here one 6 a.m. folder. Here 6 a.m. October batch I'm creating here. So at UI 6 a.m. October batch I'm creating like this. Just if you click on OK button here, see I created one more new folder in my system. Just select that folder. So by that VS Code will be loaded into our system. So here I'm going for VS Code. There is a file, open folder option will be there. Open folder. Under this, here file open folder. Under this, you can find it here. Here file and open folder option will be there. So because of this, you can open your folder. I created 6 a.m. October at UI folder I created. Under this, see file VS Code will be loaded into our system. Here I have to share my VS Code here. Here VS Code is opened. So go to the VS Code. Here file, open folder option will be there. Just select my 6 a.m. folder here. Select. By that 6 a.m. folder is loaded into VS Code. After this, here there is two options. One is new file, another one new folder. I am creating new folder for my development, that is HTML4. HTML4 is the new folder. Under this new folder, I am creating one new file here. That is what here? First example.html. First example.html is my here first file. Okay, first example dot this here is the example. See here, first HTML4 example I'm doing like this. Here, so if I write directly welcome, see, now I have to run this program. To run this program, go to the documents, 6 a.m. October batch, HTML4, double click. See here, welcome message directly it is printing without any structure. See, it is printing here, welcome message directly it is printing without any structure. Now right click inspect element on this. Here go to the console. Here, now you can find it here. This console is printing output for us. Here, sorry, this elements, right click inspect element, elements. See here, you can see HTML head and body tag. See, I'm not writing any code in this, just I'm writing welcome. But even though browser is creating this type of code. Here, browser is creating this type of code for our programming. Here, HTML head and body is the standard code here. Under this, head tag is used to write header information. Body tag is used to write body part of our application. Here, we are using here VS Code. Under this, we are writing here first HTML. Under this, you can see that output will be like this. Here, now you can check it here. See, I'm showing here that HTML page. That HTML page is printing here welcome message like this. Here only, generally, if you don't write, it will create. But if you start writing any HTML code, we should start with, according to W3org, we should start our HTML file here with this should start with doc type. It is document type of HTML. Doc type is nothing but it's a document type of HTML. Here HTML start and close, head start and close, and body start and close. We will write it for this HTML. For this HTML, we can write it here, head start and close and body start and close. Under this head section, we can write it here. Script we are using here to add JavaScript code. Style we are using here to add CSS code. Here, script I'm using here to add JavaScript code. Style I'm using here to add CSS code. Here only I'm writing here style. It is used to add CSS code. So CSS code I can add to my application. Here only I can add it here JavaScript. So I can use JavaScript code to develop my application. Here I'm using here script, head and body. Under this head section, I'm adding here script tag. With this script tag, I can add it here JavaScript code. With this CSS code, I can add it here. With this style tag, I can add it here CSS code. So this way, generally, we will write it here head and body tag for our programming. Here, head tag is used to write header information. Body tag is used to write body part of our application. head tag and body tag, we can use it for our application. Under this head section, we can add it here, script and the style. Here under this body section, we can add it here, that CSS code. See, here under this body section, we will learn it here, all HTML tags. All other HTML tags, here other HTML tags, we will learn it here under this. Here all HTML tags, we will learn it here under this body tag. So Control S, save. Here in VS Code, here file, open folder, 6 AM. Under this, I created one new folder, subfolder, that is HTML4. This is subfolder. Here I created one folder in my system. So this is one folder. Under this, we created subfolder. Under this, we created our first .html or one.html program. To run this program, directly I can go to the location and open the file. Another one, in VS Code only, I can go for extensions. Under this extension, search for live server. Here I'm searching for live server. Click on install button. So by that, it will be installed in our system. See, it will be installed in our system. So click on install button. By that, it will be installed in our system. Here I'm going for VS Code. In this VS Code, I can install my application like this. Here I can click on install button. So by that, it will be installed in our system. Here it will be installed in our system. So go to the VS Code. This is extension. Here, see, search for live server. Here there is an option for live server. Here, this is live server. Just click install button of this live server. By this, it will be installed in our system. See, this is one install button. If you click on it, it will be installed in our system. See, it will be installed in our system. So once it is installed, see here in VS Code, you can go for that installation button. So by that, automatically it will be installed in our system. So once it is installed in our system, see here, this is extension. You can click on install button. It will be installed in our system. So right click, open with live server. Here after installation, so go to the program here, our one.html program. Here our one.html program. So just right click on it. Here right click on it. You can find open with live server. Open with live server option. You can find it. So by this program, right click open with live server. See, my program will be opened in the live server. See, my program will be opened in the live server. See here, you can check it here. See, this is normal execution. Default, by default, you can execute your program by browser. So if I run it by live server, so by this, my program will get executed with a live server. So automatically, my program will be opened in the browser with a live server. See here. This way, you will find that URL. Here, when you run your program by live server, so it will be like this. Here, we are executing our program like this. Here, live server I'm using here to execute my program. So in this time, I'm using here one.html. Once you right click on it, open with live server. By that, your program will be opened in the live server. Okay, so this is the way. Normal, if you go to the location and if you open your application here, that will be like this. Here, first example, I'm executing here normally. Directly go to the location and open your file. Automatically, it will open it in the browser. This is another way. Two ways you can execute your program. Starting onwards, I'm explaining. Go to the Google, search for VS Code. You can find a VS Code setup file. There, you can find one setup file. Double click on that setup file. Couple of next steps, it will be installed in our system. So couple of next steps, if you click on it, it will be installed in our system. After this, computer start button, search for VS Code. Here, if you search for VS Code, it will open it in your system. There is an option called File Open Folder. Here, File Open Folder option will be there. So by that, your folder will be opened in our system. So here only you can find it here, 6 a.m. folder. You can create it under this. Under this only I'm writing here HTML4 folder. Here only I created HTML4 folder. Under that only I created, 6 a.m. folder, main folder. Under this I created 6 a.m. folder. Under this you can find 1.html. Okay, see, I'm writing here, we start button, VS Code, file, open folder, then here 6 a.m. folder. Like this, you will find it here, all our folders like this. So I'm able to write all folders for my application like this. Okay, here after this, here go to the, for execution of the program, here for execution of the program, we can write it here. Here for execution of the program, you can write here, here for execution of the program, go to the extension, search for live server. By this, live server will be installed in our system. So live server will be installed in our system. So by this live server, once you install that live server, here live server can be opened in our system. See here. See, it will open like this. The advantage between the live server execution and normal execution here. So whatever changes you are doing here, suppose if I write welcome message here. So I'm writing here welcome. This welcome message ... it will print it here. Here that welcome message, whatever I'm writing here, that will get executed. Control yes, save. Here that welcome message, whatever I'm writing here, that will get executed here. Yeah. So this program will get executed. Control yes, save. Here, if you run this program, you can see that execution will be like this. See, it is automatically affected, but here normal execution, I have to click on refresh button. Difference between normal execution and live server execution here, whatever changes I'm doing in the program, the changes will be automatically affect in the program. But in normal execution, I have to click on refresh button. See, suppose if I'm writing here, hello. So I'm writing hello message here. Here, control yes, save. See, hello is not affected here, but hello is affected here. See, normal execution time, I have to click on refresh button, then only it will refresh my program. Okay, I have to click on refresh button, then only it will refresh my program. So this way only will execute our output for our application. So today I started the first topic. Yesterday and day before yesterday, we discussed what I covered. That total thing I revised today. Here first I explain here what is UI and UI related basic introduction part. Here after that, so what is the use with the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, Ajax, Bootstrap, and lessons as. Here all I explained here, that basic introduction part. After that, I entered in next one here. Next one I explained here how to install Visual Studio Code into our system. So how to install VS Code, then how to run our program. Here, after installing that VS Code, how to run our program, how to execute our program, you can check. Here, we can write our programs in VS Code. So in this VS Code, here, after installing VS Code, you can run your programs in VS Code. This is one IDE. Visual Studio Code is one IDE. We will use this IDE to develop our application. Here, Visual Studio Code is one IDE. We will use it here, this one, for developing our application. In this Visual Studio Code, you can check it here, how to write our program, how to execute our programs. Here, I'm explaining here VS Code. In this VS Code, how to write our program, how to execute our program, we discussed here. So in this VS Code, here IDE, here VS Code. In this time, Autumn, brackets, NetBeans, Eclipse, like this, we have so many IDEs to develop our application. Here, you can install anyone, but widely used one for developing the real-time applications and the classroom sake, we are using Visual Studio Code. So go to the Google, search for VS Code. There you can find it here. In that VS Code, you can find it here. Uh, Here you in that VS Code, you will see that here how to run our program automatically with a live server. So here live server, advantage of that live server here, automatically program will get executed. Automatically program will get executed because of this live server. So like this, we have something related to this. Here now, yeah, tomorrow I'll continue on the same topic here, HTML4. Next 10 days, we will be in the HTML4 topic. Tomorrow is a festival, so I want to give holiday tomorrow. So day after tomorrow, I'll meet. 10th is holiday. 11th, I'll continue your class. And that too on the same continuation part. Continuation part of our syllabus, I'll continue. Okay. Here, HTML4. Next 10 days, we will be in the HTML4. Up to now, only one student mail ID I got it from organizer. So that's why, so I'll share my drive access with you. Here, I'll create one folder like this. Here, 6 a.m. batch I already showed to you. Here, the number of recordings, classes, all everything you can check. Here, I'm going to create one separate drive for your batch. In that drive, everyday class files, programs, paint files, everything I'll upload there. So by that, you can check my recordings, you can check my class related files, everything you can check. See here, 6 a.m. folder. Here, this is my July batch. So your batch is October batch. Okay, so I'll create one October batch separate folder. See, here like this, I'll create all October batch folder. Under that, I'll create all these folders. Weekend test. So every weekend I'll conduct one test. So that question paper and answer sheet, you can check it here. Here exam 1, exam 2 on CSS, exam 3 on JavaScript. Like this, exam 4, exam 5, like this, I'll upload all. Here,
Again,
screen is not visible. Okay, thank you. So whenever I open new window, I have to give that access. Yeah, thank you. Here, I'm showing you one window here. See, in this, I'm uploading everyday class recordings, paint file programs, everything I'm uploading here and this. Here, in this weekend test, every question paper and every answer sheet and here and that exam related here all I'll upload it. Results is not related to this. This is offline results. Here, question paper I'll give you. So you have to write 5 exams I'll conduct. That 5 exams question paper and answer sheet, you can check it here. Okay. And then recordings here, you can check my recordings here. Everyday class recording, I'll upload it here. So class related recordings, every recording, you can check it here. Okay. You can check this file with all my recordings. Next, you can check it here, programs folder. In this programs folder, everyday class related programs. See here, topic wise, all programs, HTML4, CSS2, HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript, Ajax. Like this, separate folder I'll create it for separate programs. I'll use Visual Studio Code to write my programs. Here at last, I'll explain project session. At last, I'll explain one project session. So like this, I'll share my drive access with all the students. So today, I'll give you this drive access to one student. I got one student mail ID. who are not registered with the DURGASOFT organizer, complete your registration. So by that, I can share my drive access with you. In the drive, I'll upload all my class paint files and the recordings and class related programs. Today we started 1.html. That program I'll explain, I'll upload, and class related recordings, paint files, programs, documents. Document here, HTML4 document and course content. So once we start CSS, CSS2 document and course content. Like that, I'll upload every time. Okay, every time I'll upload like that. So you can check everyday recording. So by that you will get idea about that. Okay, so that way only I'll continue all my classes. Okay, so this is about today's session. If you have any doubt, you can ask please. And today is the last day for your registration. I already completed my demonstration, and today third session we continued on the topic. So complete your registration and come for Friday class. Tomorrow, 10th October is a festival, so I'm giving holiday for you. 11th October, I'll continue your class. But next week onwards, your class timing will be 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. So you are going to merge with my 6 a.m. batch. So till end of the course, it will be 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. only. Okay. So who are interested to continue my content? Who are interested to continue my class, so complete your registration with organizer. Please lift the call from organizer, respond to her and get the drive access. Yeah, up to now, if you have any doubt, you can ask please. Yes, any doubts?
No doubts, ma'am.
No doubts. Okay. So we'll meet tomorrow. Sorry, we'll meet on Friday for the continuation of syllabus. Thank you.
Okay, from Friday onwards, morning 6 a.m. ma'am.
No, Monday onwards 6 a.m. Friday it
Okay.
will be 7 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.